Hi again. Well, today we're going to finish up the brake line job. Recall we already rebuilt the rear master cylinder. Here with new parts, we replaced the brake line with the new Speigler aftermarket brake lines. That went well. So today we're going to continue this by replacing the front brake lines, the master cylinder reservoir, which looks really nasty from sun and whatnot, so I got a new one to replace that. Replace the brake lines. Here you can see it's a single brake line here, and tees off right there to both sides, or both calipers. We're going to replace that with these. Let's get some towels down. So there's also this master brake, or there's also this bleeder up here on the master cylinder. We're going to bleed that out completely too to make sure we get all the fluid out. In fact, I'm going to bleed it from here first, just to drain up all the fluid in the reservoir, and then we'll bleed out the lines and we'll be good to go. Okay, got an 8mm wrench on the bleeder. So just by hooking these fittings onto the bleeder valve, I just pull the trigger. There we go. Just pull the trigger here and it'll suck all the brake fluid out. So just gotta crack this open like that, and since it has two lines on it, all you need to do is plug up one end, put your thumb on it, and there it goes. Okay, so that's the reservoir blood out. Now I'll just bleed these one at a time. Just hang my unused one up here. Get the bleeder on top of the nipple there, crack it open. And see the fluid's already coming out? You just hit the handle and sucks it right out. Just cover up this one. There you go. That's it, empty. That's it. That's all there's to it. If you did that by hand, you can do it, but you have to pump up the brake, put the bleeder line on there, crack open the bleeder, let it bleed out, push the brake lever to pump it out, close it, pump it up, hold it, crack it open. You gotta keep repeating until it's out. And you can do it, but oh my God. Why? Okay, I'm just going to do the other side. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's all the brake fluid in the bottom in the jar. To take the banjo bolt off the brake line here. There we go. And we've got some fluid coming out, which is why we have the rags. That's going to be a little bit left in the caliper. You'd expect. And that's that. There's the banjo bolt, crush washer, and there's another crush washer here. There it is. Now, like I did with the rear, trick I learned online was to take a little piece of paper towel and shove it in the hole. Like so. Don't need the whole paper towel. And that will soak up any brake fluid that might want to still leak out. Just going to take a little brake cleaner here and clean up that little drip. There you go.
That's brake cleaner?
Mm-hmm. Brake cleaner. Okay. Now, gotta break loose the other side. Okay. Right up in there, what's that? That looks like an 8mm bolt holding that T together. So that's got to come out. Okay. Do have these clamps here that hold the brake line onto the fender. Okay, that's one. That's two. Okay, brake lines are free. Okay, so I just got to break loose the banjo bolt here, and we're free. So it looks like another 12mm here. And get ready to catch any quick release. Brake loose 12mm. Get ready to catch any rogue brake fluid from getting on the bike. And there is just a tad. There we go. Brake line is free. And now if I just need to fish it through a little retainer clip here. And there it is. This is the T I was talking about that we had to disassemble. But there it is, the old brake line. Yay! Okay, let's swap out the reservoir. Just a nut and bolt and clamp on the hose here, and that'll be off. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Old one. Here's a new one. Quite the difference. So we'll swap this, put this one back in. There we go. So these are the new ones, new brake lines. can see there's two individual lines as opposed to the one that's split at a T. And both of these will stack together. If I can show you that. Stack like there we go. Stack like this on the master and independently run down to each caliper, theoretically giving more balanced, a better balance of pressure, but we'll see. And yeah, these are braided steel lines versus the rubber ones that were stock. So theoretically these will not flex as much, so when you put the pressure on the brake, some of that brake fluid pressure goes to swelling the brake line, the rubber hose, and some of that, so you lose a little bit of braking. Theoretically, once again, you lose a little bit of braking efficiency to the line itself, and these lines, you won't get that. So, oh, what's really nice is on these Speiglers, they've labeled everything. Really nice. I don't know if you're going to be able to read that, but probably not. But that says left caliper. Perfect. So I'll have to keep that in mind. So let's make sure I get these threaded correctly down to the bike. So theoretically these will go right up in here, like that. Theoretically. And the trick is to see if if the ends by the calipers are oriented the correct way to go on the caliper bolt, and if not, they have the adjustment tool to help you adjust that. So I'm going to take the new bolt, new banjo bolt, and temporarily just orient these things in here and see if we have to make any adjustment down below. And this, remember, your bolt should go in real easy by hand. If they're not, something's wrong. Cross-threaded, don't force them. Okay. So let's see how these line up. Let's see if this lines up without needing an adjustment. Whoa, this looks perfect. The rear needed an adjustment, but this one looks really good. Let's check the other side. Yay. This looks good too. Great. Great. This will be one less step to do. Okay. So, our little parts bag that came with the new brake lines, we'll need banjo bolt, 2 crush washers, one crush washer on each side of the connector, and I'm just going to finger tighten these until I get everything adjusted. There it is. Through one of the lines, other one, other line, and one more. There we go. Okay, now that is all hand tight. A little concerned about enough play in the lines, but let's check that now. No, I think it's okay. I mean, it doesn't go full lock without binding. That's good. All right, so now we need to torque these all down, and they recommend 13 to 18 foot-pounds. Well, theoretically, it's done. Just need to put fluid in it and bleed it through, and it should all work, theoretically. So now, we're back to bleeding again with our handy dandy bleeder. I'm going to bleed the master cylinder first. Just get some air out of that, and then we'll do the calipers in the brake lines. So first off, get some brake fluid in the reservoir. And lock that down. We may need to come back to that a second time. But that's the master. Yep. And then we just hook up our bleeder hose. Crack it open. Plug up this end. Squeeze the lever. There's fluid coming through. Alright, so the new brake lines are in. And the system's bled and everything looks great. So recall, so we did the master cylinder, rear master cylinder rebuild with the new brake line. All the way back down. These are new Speigler brake lines with our, came with the grommet there to hold it on, and the extra little clamp right there. And the front brake lines, which are now stacked. Two together. We put on the new reservoir. So they're all set. So I'll take it for a test ride, make sure everything's all good, and that's all there's to it. So it's pretty simple to do. Just take your time, and again, that brake bleeding system, if you have a compressor, it is the savior. So I'll put that in the links below so you can check that out. Alright, so take care. Hi everyone, wanted to give you a quick update on the results of our brake line installation and rear master cylinder rebuild. I've had the Ninja out on the street now for several weeks, and I can tell you the rear brake is so much better. It's like brand new, and I don't know whether that's because of the brake lines or the master cylinder rebuild, maybe both, but it's fantastic. So happy with that. The front brakes are also improved, less noticeably than the rear, but I can tell you that the initial bite is a little more pronounced when you apply the brake, as well as a little bit more brake lever, a little more pressure available there. So I'm guessing that's clearly because of the brake lines, and but still very responsive, very performant. So I'm real happy with the results of the rebuild and the brake line upgrade. So if you're thinking about doing this to your own bike, and I think it's well worth it. So there you go. There's the quick update, and I'll see you in the next video.